two, one, take it away.
Hello and welcome to Glitch Point. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's nice to sit by the fire and have a good conversation with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Really let loose on what's going on in the world.
Yeah, we had a snowpocalypse over here.
I have a better name.
Oh, really?
It is the oh no, what was it? Okay, so it's the Snowdemic. It's the
Oh,
Snowdemic.
Snowdemic. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah, because the
pretty bad out
Snowpocalypse was
there.
already used, so I feel like you got to come up with
True.
something. Snowdemic, I think it works pretty well.
Yeah, it's our first snow for COVID.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. It just makes people really want to stay inside.
Yeah, unless you live in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. We're not going to talk about that though,
Nope.
because that's ridiculous. Okay, so it's kind of interesting that I think last week we had made, or even in the previous weeks, we had made comments on a couple of things that we want to see happen, and one of them was that there aren't really that many titles left for the Switch that are coming out. And
Yes.
then what happens? We get Mario Golf announcement, which is awesome because I've been waiting for that, and I actually really love the Mario Golf series.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do differently this time around, but yeah, it's a golf game.
But I mean, isn't that the Nintendo way? Do they need to do? I mean, they don't do things differently. They just give you the game you love on the platform you love.
Well, sometimes if they like you, like it's been like an ongoing thing that Nintendo refuses to make a new F-Zero because they don't know what to do with it, and they're like, "Well, what are we gonna do new with it? Like, we want to make sure we innovate." And then they have like five more Mario Golfs.
Well, no, I mean,
So
the Mario Golf. When was the last Mario Golf? I mean, there had to be like, there aren't that many Mario
no,
Golfs.
no, yeah, Mario Kart might not be the best example. I want to say it's Toadstool, not Toadstool.
Was it on the Wii U? I mean,
No, I think the last Mario Golf was on the GameCube.
yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, so Mario Golf, that's fair. Mario Tennis, on the other hand,
Yeah,
come on.
and and there's Strikers. They redid a Strikers on the last console as well, and then so yeah, I mean there are, but that's the thing. I mean the Mario Kart, everyone's happy to get a new Mario Kart, even
Oh
though it's the
yeah,
same effing game over and over and over again.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I want another F-Zero. If it's the exact same shit, I don't care. I want it.
I think it's just because it's there were new ideas in the last F-Zero was what 64 or no that
GameCube.
there was GameCube. That's right, there was a
Yeah, and
GameCube
it
one.
kicked ass. I mean,
Yeah,
there has not been a bad F-Zero game. That's I mean, they've only had a couple, so there's not a big list, but like they nail it every time.
yeah. No, I really liked it because that one was they had the basically 3D worlds that you could go under the. I
Yep.
mean, all of them were three. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you would call that, but the map was like a cylinder.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was a good game. That was a good entry to the series. I don't know. I feel the same. I feel like that's a great example because that's how I feel about Mario Golf. There just aren't that many. That's how I feel about Wave Race is another one where there are
Oh
just not that
yeah.
many. Pikmin, I know there are probably more, but I still feel there are a couple of these that aren't guaranteed on every console, like Zelda, Mario. Um, you
Well, I
know,
would say Zelda's guaranteed. We've had Zelda every console.
close enough.
I think we've had two every console.
Yeah. Has there not been? I mean, because there's even on the
Oh wow,
hand.
yeah, there has been two. I can't. I think the handhelds had even more. I know
Yeah,
they've
the
had two
handhelds
per
have a lot.
handheld actually.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's like it's special when we get one of those, but it's not
Yeah.
as special to see Mario Golf. And the funny thing is, golf has kind of died. I mean, it had its heyday with Tiger Woods, and I think everyone was playing it at that time. But no one's really caught the golf bug, a long time. There just hasn't been really a lot of innovations. And the one thing that I really like that they're doing with this golf thing is allowing you to swing the controller to swing the golf club, which I think is going to be really fun.
Yeah, and I think the reason that Mario Golf didn't come out on the Wii or the Wii U was probably because of the Wii's technology. Like they had Wii Golf and Wii
Yeah.
Golf Resort, so they were like, it's literally the same game. But now it's been long enough. I guess it's like, well, now we can just do the same thing, which the Switch is a lot better. So
I hope they're able to take a lot more advantage on the angle of your approach and stuff like that. Like there was a Tiger Woods game that I played I think it was, I don't know how many freaking Tiger Woods, but it was one of them. I remember I played it when I was in college, and I played it on the computer, and you would use the mouse, and you could like use the direction that you would take, the path you would take in the mouse with the mouse would give you slice or hook.
Hmm.
So it was actually the swing of the controller, and it was actually so much better than on the console because it really gave you a feel for the ball and like playing the game. And I really hope that I know it's Nintendo, so we're probably going to get something very simple, but I hope that they take some sort of liberties with the angle of the controller or how you swing the controller to give you a good golfing feel.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah. I mean, what's in the controller? Is it just a gyroscope?
Um,
It's just a gyroscope, right?
I think so. It might have something else that's a little higher. Well, no, gyroscopes are pretty good. Yeah, I think so. I might
Yeah.
have something else. I don't
It's
know.
not. It's not just accelerometer. Is it a gyroscope or is it just accelerometers?
I think it might be both.
Is it both?
Yeah, it's got a lot of shit in that little thing.
Yeah.
I know that.
So they have the technology to take advantage of it. So
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't know, and it's just like fun to play golf with Birdo and the other. I like it. I really like
No,
that game.
yeah, it's kind of. I mean, yeah, I was somewhat excited, but it was kind of the most exciting thing for me from that Nintendo Direct. There was not much else, especially on the Zelda side. It was very disappointing, but they'll
So
get
there's.
there.
I didn't see it. There's no
So
movement on the.
no, and it was kind of like it felt a little slap in the face because it was like, we're waiting and everyone's like, this has gotta be it. Like, you have said nothing big about any of the games. And I mean, I know they're really pushing Bowser or Super Mario 3D World with the new
Yeah,
expansion, but I'm like, guys,
Fury.
yeah, I'm like, it's you guys already released this game. You need to stop releasing Wii U games and then being like, wow, look at this great new Switch game because a lot of people already played them on the Wii U. Not a
But I
ton, but
I like this whole idea of DLC on old games. I wish it wasn't just releasing on a new console. But I do like even with the new map for Halo Master Chief's Collection and stuff like this, where there's actually development on games that have existed. I think we should do this for a lot of games.
yeah.
I think teams should go back and just do DLCs for things that have existed a long time ago. I mean, why not? I mean, what's the harm?
I think it's
I
just
sup-
the financial risk.
but you remember when we were talking about how like it's creating small games. Like a lot of times, it's nice to just have a small game. Maybe DLC is the answer to that question. We just take old sandboxes that we've put down and we add a little game inside of them that people
Yeah.
can enjoy. I don't know. I think there's
Apparently,
a.
Bowser's Fury is really cool, but
It looks cool.
I didn't really like 3D World that much, so I don't know if it makes it that much more fun. But it seems like this is our like big Mario game. Like that's what it feels like. Is this is like, oh, here's your Mario game, and everyone's like, this is not what we were hoping for.
Well, I mean, to give them credit, I mean, it's not like they're putting out a new console. I think that there's and
No.
maybe they're thinking about putting out a new console so they can't do a Mario game now because it's too
Well,
close.
that's what some people were asking, and
Conspiracy
the
theory?
president of Nintendo said that he says the Switch is at the middle of its lifespan, and
What
there's
does that even
plenty
mean?
more games that to come. Like it means like we shouldn't expect a new generation of Nintendo console anytime soon.
But what is the overlap? Like 75% of a lifespan? Because
Well, if he
consoles
says
obviously exist.
midway, I mean, how the Switch has been out for 4 years now, so
Well, where's the Xbox One in its life cycle?
the end. But I mean, that thing's been
Would
out
you say
for
that? I
eight
mean,
years. Yeah,
it's a bad
it's
example.
nearing the end, or I mean, it's like there's at the end and over. It ain't over yet, but it's
It's
at
a
the end.
it's a bad example because every game you can play on the Xbox Series X that you could play on the Xbox One, so it's like it's kind of gets its guts
That's a good
pulled
point.
out.
PS4, that thing's at the end.
Yeah,
That
but
like
there will still be development for it for a
yeah, but
little while.
there won't be first party development. I think that's what distinguishes like
Oh,
that console's over. Like Sony's not making a PS4 game anymore. They're on the PS5. Good for them. Xbox, yeah, Halo Infinite's coming on the Xbox One, so it ain't dead yet.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Nintendo that they brought on and waited till the very end, but not the very end. I can't remember the last. Oh, they announced Splatoon 3. I don't care, but good for Splatoon fans. I'm glad you guys get another one. Uh, they brought in the director of the Zelda franchise, and you're sitting there like, oh, this is fucking it. We're gonna see it like finally. And he's really like, so I bet you're here for Breath of the Wild too. Sorry, it's not here. Here's Skyward Sword remastered.
Do you think that there's a reason they're being a little bit more hush hush because of the reactions that that fans have taken on other games and just kind of how everybody's so in tune with what's happening right now. So it's almost like any misstep gets
Yeah,
punished.
but I mean, the fan reaction to Breath of the Wild was overwhelmingly positive. So like I don't think they should be worried, but at the same time it does make me wonder what they're doing because I think a lot of other people because they're not calling it Breath of the Wild 2, but they're calling it like the sequel to Breath of the Wild. A lot of us, and I thought so, was it was going to be like Majora Mask to Ocarina. It's like same engine, same gist of it, but just kind of a new story and a couple new elements. But it's like the same type of game, which I think everyone is like, yeah, just give me more.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're taking so long with it, which so long is 3 to 4 years now, maybe they're doing something bigger because I know there was a lot of people who loved Breath of the Wild but agreed that it's not much of a Zelda game because you don't have items and dungeons like traditional dungeons and stuff, which I don't think makes the game bad, just different game. So
Yeah.
maybe they're really working overtime to try to get this game to feel more Zelda-like, which sure.
Well, I mean, it's getting big enough, and I think this is what happens to most games: is they get to a point where they're so large, and this is what's obviously happening with Halo Infinite and all these other games that are going to continually be updated. And you just get a sandbox world. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, because development on itself takes so long just to make these open world games that it's almost beneficial to keep the same. And it's not like much is changing, especially since it's the same world that you're dealing with. I don't know why you wouldn't just pop new stuff into the existing world that you already have.
Well, that's what
Or
I'm saying. Like, I'm wondering if they aren't using the same open world. Like, they're gonna just go away from it.
no, I mean, they might, but
Like, I think they'll have an open world, but I think that they're gonna have a different one, and that's probably what's taking a long time because they nailed that open world. Like, every
well,
part of it felt great. So,
was it were people suspecting that the before this that I've been following it that closely, but were they suspecting that they were going to use the same world? This is going to be more like a DLC,
oh
or
no, no, I don't
no?
think there's been much speculation either way.
Yeah, I always thought it was going to be a new world because of the way that they presented it and teased it this thus far. It seemed like it was, and just also that's traditional Zelda, right? Every
Yeah,
game is its own experience, its own story,
yeah,
and its own
definitely.
world.
Like Majora was the closest one, and that's mainly just because it was the same engine again, and it came out like only like a year or two after. So it was just like let's take all of our assets and just reuse them and do a new story. And
Which is kind of
they
a
added some
Galaxy thing,
more.
right? Like we're
Yeah, it
basically
was. Yeah, it was
saying,
very like Galaxy.
well, this also that's what I thought this was going to be. The
Yeah,
next,
me too.
Breath of the Wild was going to be the next, like another Galaxy type of situation where it's same mechanics, different world.
Yeah, which now I'm starting to wonder if that's not the case. But then I don't know what they're gonna do. I really want to see it. I think that's one of the games I am most excited about.
I'm actually really excited about this continuous development stuff. I honestly think that that's the future of a lot of these large games, just because I think there is so much more you can give to the same world, and it also doesn't bind you down so much. Like, expectations aren't so high. There isn't this whole like, it's getting kind of ridiculous because games just take so long to build that there's just so much pressure to get all these sales, and we've seen it already with CD Projekt Red and what's happened with them. I think there's got to be a paradigm shift a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, for a long time, this industry has been like, no, new IPs are extremely hard to sell, and they are. But I think that they're getting harder and harder and harder to sell.
I think
And
they're just getting
because
harder and
games
harder
are,
to
I
make.
mean, yeah, because games are getting so much harder to make, the risk is getting higher, which means taking a risk on a new IP is getting riskier and riskier, and it's going to be happening less and less, which is sad.
Yeah, but I think that there are still new IPs, that will come about, but it's going to take larger corporations to do it. I don't, and there's still the indie world, so there's still ideas that can be. I think that I don't know. It's
Yeah,
hard to
I
say.
think because we went through a phase at the beginning of last gen of remastering games and just doing that whole idea to death. And I think right now we're going to be in probably for a while this phase of rebooting existing franchises, either ones that are dead or ones that are stale. And I mean, we're seeing that with God of War kind of got a reboot, and Perfect Dark got announced a reboot. Fable's getting rebooted. Um, so I think we're gonna see a lot of old games like coming back. Prince of Persia is like not getting rebooted, but they're completely remaking the first one, Sands of Time,
Yeah.
which in my opinion I think that's their if people buy this game, why don't we bring back Prince of Persia? So
Yeah. And that's a good idea because I think most people don't even know that game exists, and it was a great game.
yeah, so good.
Yeah.
That whole trilogy, like yeah, it's not
Well, I don't know why it was missed. I don't know what was happening at the time, but most people have not played those games. I only played the first one, but
I don't understand either. Like they are really really good.
yeah, and it's
all three of them.
Yeah, I'll have to play the other two.
Well, technically, there's four. There is a fourth one that comes out that is a part of that timeline.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it's part of the timeline, and it ain't that bad. But it's not as good as the original trilogy.
Well, it's also like the Riddick games. I never played them, but people said those were really good.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of like hidden gems out there that
the sixth gen was amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many good games.
Yeah, and I think just taking those games and bringing them forward, it gives them another shot because they're already proven to be good games, and there's already a cult following now that they've been around and people missed them. So you're guaranteed a certain amount of sales, which is nice.
Yeah, and another it's like Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like that's a game that was in that generation, got
that
skipped
game's
over.
Never coming out.
yeah, who knows? But I think we'll also see sequels to long lost games as well, which we saw a little bit of with like I guess you could say Half-Life. And then Shenmue got a sequel. There's another one. Oh, Psychonauts 2 is getting a sequel. Like,
yeah,
it's
I don't know. I don't know.
People don't want to make new IPs. It's very hard. But there's so many that are dead that like should come back. So
I was always Double Fine was like one of those companies I thought everybody loved and I didn't quite get. I just like their games are good, but they're like. It's like they're the Blackjack of, and not. There are movies that I like that Blackjack's in, but a lot of his stuff I don't get. I mean, it's funny, but it's not like.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, it's funny you say that because Double Fine made a Brutal Legend, which
I know.
But no, I mean, yeah, I maybe it's because of Brutal Legend, but I totally have made that connection of like Double Fine is like Jack Black. I love him, but like I'm not gonna watch all his movies.
Well, it's just like,
but
there are great hits, but a lot of them are just like. This is not that good. Like Gulliver Travels or whatever else Jack Black did. Didn't he do the video store one? Was that any good? I can't remember if that was good.
Video store.
Where all the movies got erased because there was like, and then they had to remake all the videos from the old movies.
I don't remember that, but
maybe. It was with that rapper. Oh my god, I can't think of his name. It's like on the tip of my head, but it'll come to me. Anyways, so the other story that we also talked about, I think last week, was the fact that the way that Halo is just doing dev blogs is not really. It's kind of under the radar because only the people that really care, and it's not really big, and nothing's big enough to be tracked by the news media, so it's not really getting propagated up. Mm-hmm. And then what do? They do a video dev blog, and I think most people saw. I don't know. Did you see that?
Excuse me. They did what?
They did. Yeah.
How the see now? I really know I've been under a rock.
Or yeah, they did a video.
Really if I missed Halo news, fuck. What am I doing?
They talked about all sorts of like basically they answered all the questions that people had for the blog posts that they had put in the last like. I don't know how long the blog's been open.
I'm going to watch that.
No, it was decent. I mean, there was some silly fanfare questions that were like, what was the guy? I don't know any names. I suck with names.
Oh god, is it a Halo character?
Video? No, it's like the video blog. No, the guy that they were interviewing.
Oh,
I just don't. I mean, I'm not. I should know all the names of everybody on the planet Earth, but I don't. So there you go.
Okay. From the Sandbox team.
That's from the Sandbox team. Yeah. So it was really informative. I mean, they definitely had a lot of good questions. I mean, I would encourage you, but just I think that got a lot of traction, and it's interesting that because I think video is a much easier format for people to digest in today's world, and I think that there are a lot of people that are interested, and that was all over the news feeds that I saw. Like it definitely propagated up pretty
Yeah,
well.
I have no idea how I missed this.
Yeah,
25 minutes. It's only got 200,000 views on YouTube, but and oh wow, that released a week and a half ago.
yeah.
Holy wow, I've really been busy with
Was it a
life.
week and a half ago? I thought it was in this last week.
It
I
says
don't know.
February 11th.
I don't know. I saw it. It popped up in my like. I'm really bad now. I'm getting Google's feeding. You know, like the when you have the whatever Google page that you start at, and then like it has the news feeds that they. That's like
Oh
where I'm
yeah.
getting the on my phone. That's where I'm getting like most of my news, which is really bad because it's so
It's
algorithmic.
yeah.
It's so algorithmic. I can tell like like when I even like look up something that's outside the realms of what I normally research. Like I need socks or something. That's a terrible. But then I'll get news about socks, and
Yep.
it's like okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, maybe I'm in a feedback loop, but I don't mind it. It's good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, I
But
can't
yeah,
believe I missed that.
yeah. So I mean, it just shows like I think that a lot of people are interested. I think that it was really exciting to. And the other thing that I thought when I was watching this, because they showed a lot of the original release uh, of the gameplay release or whatever
Oh.
video in it, and or during it, or maybe I don't. Somehow I watched. I think it's in it. I honestly do. But and I was like, this doesn't look that bad. And I'm like, why was everyone complaining? I was like, this looks amazing. And on a second look, I'm like, I really just wanted to play it. And I think I felt that way the same. And I know it's a lot of the character animations and also just like how the characters were displayed and the lighting and all that kind of stuff. But just the interaction that was happening between the gameplay elements were just so fluid and amazing. I'm like, how could people get upset about
I
this?
know. Like
It made
I
no
mean,
sense to me.
we will never truly know publicly if 343 was really ready for a release this year or last year or not, and if it was just a big excuse. And I have a feeling the game was not ready, and that the release was going to get delayed regardless of the fan reaction. And then they kind of used the fan reaction of like, "Hey, we're listening," which is like good for them.
Yeah, they're
But
really
yeah,
playing ball.
I would have loved if they could have just released that really like even if it was super invisible wall on rails, just let me play that one segment. Just that
Yeah.
like 10 minutes of gameplay, even if I literally can't do anything but what they did. Oh man.
Do they even do game demos anymore? I haven't
No.
played a game demo in forever.
I
Is that
know.
is that a
They're not smart. Game demos are not that smart cuz most of the time people will play the demo and you've either lost a customer or you put all this resource into a demo that's really cool and then people are like, "Well, I've experienced most of the fun stuff." Or it's so hard to make a good demo that convinces someone to buy the game and not just keep replaying it. But I miss demos.
two of the worst experiences? Well, no, I remember they started carrying your character over, but that was always the worst. Was like if there was any progression in the demo,
Oh yeah.
and then you played the demo and it didn't carry over and you had to start over,
Yeah,
you're like,
one of
damn it.
the best demos I ever played, which I played the absolute shit out of it. Like I would just play it over and over and over and over again, was Bulletstorm. They
Oh,
had a
yeah.
kick-ass demo and I bought that game and I still absolutely love that game. But
I
the
still think
demo
there's room for demos. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's
I think with Game Pass and all of this other the way the industry's going, there's no reason we need demos if we're gonna go to this like pay a subscription fee. Like you don't need a trailer a lot of the time for a Netflix movie because there's like whatever it
but
looks
there
good
is a
enough I'll
trailer.
watch it. There is, but most of the time it does like reveal half the
But there's
full
also a
damn movie.
trailer for all those games on the streaming for
Yeah,
Game Pass. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe there isn't room for demos.
and I think maybe one thing that I haven't considered till now for that kind of what would kill demos is streaming. Like
Yeah,
you can get I mean, yeah, you can't play the game and feel it, which, you know, it sucks, but you can I mean, everybody, a lot of people just are like, "Oh, I want to see this game. Maybe I'll just watch someone play it, see if it's something I like."
no, yeah, I mean, but there are a lot of options. I think that it's hard to understand what a game is, and I don't think it's really getting conveyed very well. But I don't think there's a really good way to do that because, the little videos that you watch don't really convey what it feels like to play the game.
Yeah.
So maybe there is room for demos, but yeah, I don't know. You're right because if you can just stream the game, you just play the beginning of the game. But
Yeah,
Maybe
and
a,
it's also like, do you really want to put resources into a demo that could be going towards the game? And like, there are ways to make a demo very like cleanly, where it's just like, here is a segment of a level, cut it off. Like, it shouldn't take all that much time. Um, but also, I don't know how much it would cost to make a demo. In terms of like, it costs a couple thousand or whatever to like get your game on the Xbox Store, go through certification and all that. I think you have to do that with the demo.
oh, really?
And yeah, I
Yeah, that
mean, it's
makes
a thing
sense.
that someone can buy or play, so that would probably not go well. I wouldn't want
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. It's too bad. I mean, there were definitely good experience, and obviously there are a lot of games that were built off of their. I mean, Doom itself was built off of its demo.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's why it was freeware, and it kind of also harpers back to a time where it was, a lot of people just on like servers waiting for games, and like I kind of like that kind of experience where it's just everything's just fed to you in a streaming type of
yeah, and I mean
interaction.
this like haven type dream that Phil Spencer and Jeff Bezos have for streaming is like, you can watch someone play it and then be like, I want to play it, and you press a button and then you're playing the game. Like,
Oh,
which
really?
we're not. Yeah, that's what they want to do, which like,
Uh,
yeah, it makes sense. You're watching Twitch and this game is on Game Pass or XCloud. There's no reason why you can't just press a button and it just takes you to the browser and opens the game up. So eventually we will get to that point.
that's
So
actually really awesome. So they're
yeah,
gonna
they
partner
both
with
have.
Twitch.
Well, Amazon owns
Thoughts of?
Twitch, so it's kind
Oh,
of
so
up in the air,
okay.
because back when Phil Spencer said that, uh, Mixer was live, and now
Yeah.
Mixer's dead. So, and then they've partnered with Facebook Gaming, which good
Oh,
luck with
kill
that
me.
fucking shit. So, maybe that's how they're gonna answer that question, but I don't know. And then yeah, let's see if Amazon can commit to anything.
Yeah. Well, they definitely seem. I actually said this to a friend of mine earlier. They seem very like they're trying to do too many things. I think they're also trying to take on Starlink.
I don't doubt it. I mean, Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos stepped down as CEO so he could focus on his space company. I can't remember
Amazon.
what he calls his space company.
Well, this is just Amazon, not. Oh, maybe it is Jeff Bezos, but I thought it was under Amazon's. I thought it was a subsidiary of Amazon. But
Oh,
maybe I'm wrong.
maybe. I can't remember.
Uh, satellite. Yeah, satellite internet.
I don't even
Yeah,
know
so
how
yeah,
far
so they
along
do.
Starlink
Amazon
is.
satellite internet service starts to take shape. What is it called? Yeah, so they actually have this. So
Awesome. I can't wait to have it in Seattle and nowhere else in the world forever.
well, no, this is just the thing. I mean, like you see so many projects, and we talk about this a lot. Like, they've put a lot of time. They were going to do a game engine. They were going to do game companies, and like
Ooh.
it just. The problem is I think that, and maybe it's true. Maybe you have to have all your chips in every single basket in this day and age, otherwise. But it's I feel like Elon Musk is the right one to do this. He has SpaceX. He
Yep.
already invested in that. His trajectory is he's not trying to open up a marketplace to rival Amazon.
Yeah.
I think everyone just needs to say, like, this is what we do. And you know what? I think it's great that Amazon, because they needed those servers and it was part of their development, that they utilize those servers to allow people to do web hosting. That makes sense to me. A game company, why would you take on Microsoft? Obviously Microsoft, but it made sense for them to get into games because people were playing games on their platform. It's like
Yeah.
everybody else is kind of staying in their little bubble saying like we're not going to try to do everything, but it seems like Amazon just wants to do everything, and it's like chill. This is also, I feel Google's the same way.
Oh my
Google,
god, they are.
they just want to do everything. It's like just chill. You already have a huge portion of your marketplace. You're doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, Google
Stop.
was like, I don't know if they ever did, but like there were rumors they were going to court for, monopolizing search engines, because they're just, everyone uses Google.
Yeah. And you know what? If they should put more focus on that, and there's a lot of things that they do have. And it's, I think it's fine to acquire another company and, keep them running and make them good. That's different than trying to in-house a new company that just to rival other people.
Yeah. No,
I don't.
that's been my problem with Amazon, and that's why like I've just never enjoyed using their products. I mean, I have to use Amazon because that's like a utility at this point, and
It's
that's why
great.
I left. I stopped using Android was because Google just like shit all over the Android platform. And I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Samsung has their own, and that's a completely different ball game. But like, I just and then I mean Google did this with all sorts of stuff, and it just started to piss me off because I'm like, oh, I love your Google Play Music, I'm gonna use it, and then they're like, oh, by the way, we killed it to use YouTube Music because everything has to be YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, but this app sucks, so I don't want to use it. And then they had like I don't know if you remember Inbox for Gmail. It was like a separate thing
Yeah.
from yeah, it
Yeah.
was the best thing ever. And then they're like, we're gonna kill it, and we're just gonna bring all those features to Gmail, which they did not.
And the
Um,
RSS reader
yeah,
killed. They killed that too.
yeah, it's just I Google, in my
I mean,
opinion, does not make any sense.
they kill so many projects. It's like if you were to look it up online, I'm sure it would be like 6 pages worth of fucking
Yeah,
Wikipedia
and when I had
killed
Android, it was
projects.
like every year they announced a new goddamn messaging app. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, we have Hangouts. No, never mind, we have Allo. Never mind, we have Duo. Never mind, we have Android messaging. We still have Hangouts though. And then they like take 8 years to kill Hangouts, and I still think it exists.
Yeah, no
It's
one's
just,
using their
good
social
God.
media platform either. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
why are
Google
you?
Plus is stupid.
Yeah, no one's using that. Oh, but here's the other person that's also I would throw in this ring. Let's talk about the Facebook Watch.
Wait,
Like what?
what?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No, God, do I
Yeah.
live under a rock?
Oh God, yeah. So Facebook is trying. Let's
Facebook
make.
Watch.
Yep, the Facebook Watch. I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure this is a thing. Did I not make
So
something
it
up?
says it's reportedly.
Oh, well, just even the
So
fact that it's reportedly, I mean, the fact that they're thinking about because they want it to be tied in to Facebook. So it'll be very Facebook centric and
yeah,
like,
that's disgusting. No one, that's awful.
but why would you even try to take on Apple? It's like it's just
The
like what stop it.
smartwatch game is a very interesting one because I mean we had that period where everybody was making them except Google. I still don't understand why that was the one thing they didn't do. They did Google Glass and you couldn't just shit out a watch. Um, but and like I know that Samsung still makes smartwatches because it's kind of they're obligated to. They can't just be like, no, Samsung users don't get a watch. But Apple just ran away with it. And it kind of went down to the same thing of they just decided not to ditch it. Like they actually committed to it and was like, no, this is an important part of our business and we're going to use it. And they committed to it. And they did the Apple thing and locked it out of everybody else. So that fucking sucks. But it's a damn good watch. And yeah, everyone is trying to. I will not. No one is trying to
But
compete with Apple at this point.
it makes sense for Apple to do it because they're a hardware. I mean, they are a software company. Well, no, they're a hardware company. So it makes
Yeah, they've
perfect
always.
like
Yeah, they've started hardware.
yeah, they're hardware. But it makes sense for them because they have the distribution to be able. They have everything in place to do this. Facebook is a software company.
Yeah,
They do
and I
not.
mean, and even on
I
top of that, Apple is a hardware company, and they do have OS X, but they're also a products company. Like that's what drives them
yeah.
is their
I
products.
mean, you
And
could say that
Facebook
they have the
does,
Rift, but like I even think that I mean, yes, they've taken a lot, they've gotten a lot of traction with that, and I think they've done really well, and that's their hardware. But that doesn't. It's like, what are we going to get a Facebook phone? Or are we going to get a? And this is exactly what Amazon already
yeah, it's
did
like yeah,
and failed,
Firefall,
and
let's go.
Microsoft tried and failed, and they're like a giant company. What's going on here? Like, come on, stop it.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It's not gonna work. Like they have to see that. That's what I don't understand. Like no one out here is sitting there going, you know what I want? A fucking Facebook watch.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody.
all it's doing is it's taking a great idea and it's limiting to one surface because you can get Facebook on an Apple Watch. So
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna just like stop making updates, but it just for the Apple Watch, it just yeah, it doesn't.
well, and also
It's
I think that they're not looking at their customer base because their customer base is Apple users. I I would say that if you were to say the intersection between Facebook users and Apple users and Windows users and Facebook users, like if
well,
you did was it Venn diagram?
Venn diagram, yeah,
The circles?
Zen diagram.
Venn
That'd
diagram.
be
If we were going to
awesome.
do Zen diagram, I would say there would be much more of an overlap with people that are Apple users with Facebook. So now you're
Yeah, and you know
challenging
why? It's
Apple's
because
products.
old people. I think that's what's pissing Facebook off. Is they're an old people thing.
And girls, sorry, girls that are
But
technically
like
savvy. I love
like
you.
that, that's what happens with social media. At some point it goes to the old people, and you just got to give it to them. And Facebook hit that mark, and they've just got to live with it. The Facebook brand is for older people, and no older person. And that's the thing, is a lot of older people have iPhones because of reasons. But um,
I don't know if that demographic. Why are you saying? Why
I
do you
mean
say that?
it's been like I'd have to look up the statistics, but like it's kind of been a thing that a lot of iPhone, not a lot of iPhone users, but like older people who have smartphones tend to have iPhones, and the reason that I've always understood is that it's because it doesn't allow, like, Android's so customizable, and the iPhone is just like this one way street type of thing of like you got to do it this way so they can actually learn it. And the other thing is, um, the iPhone was the smartphone for a long time, and older people don't tend to like change what they have, so they just get the iPhone and stick with it.
Well, I honestly think they had a moment in time. There was a moment there where they were capturing, basically, they represented all social connection. So they were, and there was a point where just to run your business or just to be able to be connected. But now, with LinkedIn, which is owned by Microsoft, and then, you know, um, I know they bought, what's the stupid picture?
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah,
I know.
see, Instagram is a very young person oriented social
Well,
media.
they bought that up, and that was a great acquisition, I think, for their part. But there's
Mm-hmm.
just you don't need Facebook to stay connected anymore. There's so many different services that I think that people are. Yeah, maybe it is changing in its demographic, but it used to be a young thing, and it also used to
Oh
be a
yeah,
business
definitely.
thing. Like it used to be, you couldn't have a business without having a Facebook page. I don't think we're there anymore.
No, it's not. Like, yeah, again, it just every social media platform evolves and dies and becomes popular, and Facebook just hit a point where just it tends to like the people using it every day are skewing older and older as time goes on.
Well, I think a lot of people are actually upset about Instagram as well. I don't think that there's enough of an other services, but they have ads, don't they? And other
Oh yeah,
things
all
like
over the fucking place.
yeah. So it's
Everything on
like
Facebook owns is ads.
and that's I think that's the problem. It's just like I think that people just get tired of the way Facebook operates, and also just with a lot of the forcing people to sign up for through Facebook to use Oculus or whatever, and it's
Yeah,
just all
and
this
like,
stuff where they're just creepy. They're
yeah,
like
and
the
when I
creepy old.
see like when you see the Facebook brand, most young people go away. Like they're like, "Oh god, let's get away from that." Instagram is like, yeah, I would say the common person maybe doesn't realize that Facebook owns Instagram, but they also keep Facebook very like they try not to mention that Facebook owns Instagram, like it's
So
not the
funny.
brand. Yeah, because it's a completely different platform, but the second you say Facebook, it's totally different. Like even Oculus, it says Oculus from Facebook in the tiniest little blue text possible. And
What do
Instagram's
you
the same way from Instagram, and then they
what do
also
you think
own
did that?
WhatsApp.
Do you think it was the data, the selling of the data, and like all the kind of? I feel like young people wouldn't care about that. Do you think young people care about like their
Dude,
data?
no, we're using TikTok.
Yeah,
Like, no,
that's what I'm saying. Like
I
they're
think
exploiting
it's
themselves left and
just
right.
I'd love to like talk to someone who studies this, because I know there's people who are, but I think it's just I don't know. It's just like the way things work, like not necessarily evolving, but like right now, TikTok is where a lot of young people are. But if you go back 5 years, I would say that, Instagram was really big, and somewhere in there, Snapchat was really big, and
Yeah, but uh,
Twitter
ba-
was bigger than Facebook at one point, and then Facebook was big, and then there was MySpace back in the day.
MySpace was never
So
big.
it's like, why did, yeah, there was MySpace, and then we
I
all
was out
shifted to
there when
Facebook. Like,
MySpace was
why did
trying.
we,
It was not big. It had
but
like it was just for like all I remember was people's page, because the problem with MySpace was you could make your page look like anything. There was no
yeah.
conformity. So it felt like the old internet where it's like you'd go on a page and it looked like shit. There would be like cats in the background. You'd be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, but and then like Tumblr also came and went. Like a lot of platforms have just come and went. Reddit never dies, but
Yeah.
and yeah,
Well,
now I don't know how long TikTok is gonna last, because Vine was a big thing that just got killed outright, and then TikTok is kind of that thing. It's filling that void that Vine was. But yeah, Facebook is it's where parents are, connecting with family. Like that's for me, Facebook is a very family oriented thing, which is odd, but
Yeah. No, well, it does allow. I mean, I think that's where people find their use and hold on to their Facebook is just because it is a good connection between people. So
yeah,
if you, oh, I need to contact this person, that I once knew, you're like, boom, I can just
yeah.
send them a
Like
message.
for me, LinkedIn and Facebook are the same thing, but
That's what I'm saying.
LinkedIn's professional things, and Facebook is personal. Like, oh, I
I
just
think
want to
I
keep in
think
touch
Link,
with you.
I
That's
think
it.
LinkedIn should have a social aspect to it. I think that they
What do
could
you,
take a lot of the
what do
marketplace
you
because
mean have a social aspect to it?
where it's not business oriented. So it's like maybe there's a separate part of your page that you link people to, or I mean, obviously it is something that's very maybe you have
I
to keep
mean,
them separate, but
they have posts, and you can have your own
well, no,
homepage, and you
but
can do all these things.
it's still very linked. I mean, people are scared to even log into their or check other people's pages because it'll show that they check their pages. I mean, like it's so business oriented.
Okay,
People
I see
tiptoe
what you're saying.
people
Yeah.
tiptoe around LinkedIn like, oh my god, if I people aren't going to post like party pictures on
Well,
on like
I think it's okay that let's just keep LinkedIn as like it's got a purpose. I
it
like
does.
when things just have a purpose and just leave it there. 'Cause,
That's
yeah,
true.
I don't know. I don't want to just everything is everything all the time. But I mean that's how I've always seen social media. Is each one has a purpose. Yeah, Instagram is for posting picture stuff. Facebook's for family. LinkedIn's for professional, and Twitter's for I don't know random bullshit.
I just want to see the fall of Facebook. So I'm anything that will
Oh
ha-
yeah, same
have.
here.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
like
anti
Facebook
Facebook.
purely just to keep in touch. But if there was a different way, I would use that. Which there is. It's called phone numbers, but those change.
I just feel like Zuckerberg, and I can never say his name.
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. I feel like he's
Zuckerberg.
just. I don't know. I can't. And I've heard him speak, and like he just seems like he's a nice guy, but his actions definitely
He's
are.
slimy. I'm gonna be
It
honest.
just feels slimy. Yeah. Just feels like everything he does, there's always like some way to gouge you for extra money. It's
I
like,
mean, Elon. I don't know if you know, but like Elon Musk has gone on record numerous times about how much he hates Facebook. Like
yeah,
he's like, I would buy it if I could just to delete it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
hilarious. And Elon's a very interesting character. He's done some really dumb shit on social media, and everyone's got their own
Getting high
personality.
on Joe
But
Rogan.
that was hilarious. Good for
Yeah,
him.
I think that was one of his best moves. I think it showed him
Absolutely.
that
Like
he
that's
was
one
just a
thing
normal
I
human being.
like. Yeah, that's what I like about Elon is he is a normal human being just with a shitload of money.
Oh, I'm a musketeer. Don't even worry, dude.
Like I like that he does use his money to do cool shit, and then not even cool shit, but like yeah, electric cars and getting us to space, and like yeah, he is making money, but
He's
he's
also transforming our future, which nobody else is really doing. I mean, yes, you could say that like Microsoft and Apple are transforming the way, but really they're making money. I mean, somebody
well,
else would fill that gap. He's making huge moves that are changing the way that we're going to exist in the next 10, 15
oh,
years.
absolutely. And I mean, when you bring like Microsoft, they've got so many government contracts and all that. Like
Yeah.
Elon is on his own, and that's what I like. And he in some interview recently, he mentioned how there's only two automotive companies that have not gone bankrupt in America, and that's Tesla and Ford. That's pretty insane. Which
And
Tesla's a young company, but
he put all of his money from PayPal that he got, and he put it all into creating the Tesla empire. I watched an interview, and he would sleep on the factory floor,
yeah.
uh, to make sure that production happened correctly. And I mean, that guy definitely took the risk. I
No,
mean,
no, he has worked his ass off.
he has worked his ass
And
off,
like,
and so
yeah, you can give him shit for getting high. I mean, the only reason it was an issue about getting high was that he owned SpaceX and was launching rockets. And they were all
yeah, but
like,
there's
"Well,
like
he can't do that." And it was
it's not like
stupid.
he's doing the calculations to launch the rocket. I mean, he obviously hires the people to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Come on,
absolutely.
come on, people.
It was stupid. People are
He's
just all butthurt about it.
in the end, he's an idea guy that creates a beacon for smart individuals to surround around to get great stuff done, and he is a motivator. He's a leader,
Yeah.
but he's not doing the calculations. Like
I mean, well,
I,
yeah, but I mean, he is
he
extremely smart. Like he
oh
knows
no,
his shit.
he was integral to the PayPal stuff, but in the development of that that's where he got started. But
Yeah.
I honestly, I mean, he's not like building the cars. He's not.
I mean, he knows his shit when it comes to that
I'm
stuff
not.
and rocket science.
I'm not even gonna
Like
argue that
he
he doesn't know his stuff. I'm just saying like it's not just him, and he's not the
no.
one that's making the final calculation. He's trusting that he's smart enough to trust the people to get it done. Like
Yeah.
he can know that they know what they're talking about, and I think that's what a good leader does. Is all a good leader needs to do is know enough where they can talk to the people that know everything in order to motivate them and get them to be able to give them a path in order to get the work done that you want them to do. That's
Yeah.
it.
Did you watch his Cybertruck reveal? Do you remember that?
No, but well, I didn't watch it in full, but I definitely saw the truck. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw him break the window, right?
No, I didn't see that. That's funny. Did he?
Oh, dude, it was I mean, it was so cringy to watch, but this was probably my favorite Elon Musk thing he's ever done, which he brings the car on stage and is like, "These windows are bulletproof. They are meant to be sturdy. Like we've tested them in a lab. It's great." And then they had this like mechanism where they had a separate, it wasn't on the car, but they had a glass that was supposed to represent a window on this pan. And then they had a tower where this metal ball that they could drop, and they dropped it onto the glass and it didn't break. And he's like, "See, look how great it is." And people are like, "Wow, it's so cool." And then he went off the rails. This was not rehearsed because his engineers on the stage with him were like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Give me the ball, throw it at the car." He's like, "No, no, no." He's like, "I know that's a demo, but look at the real car." And he told his engineer, "Throw the ball at the car." And the guy was like, he looked so hesitant. He's like, "Okay." And he like threw it lightweight or something like that first, and it bounced off. But then Elon's like, "No, no, no, really give it." And they chucked that ball and broke the fucking window. Like on stage, you just
But
look at
that's
Elon Musk look at the thing. He's just
amazing.
like, "Well, I don't know about that one, but
And that's like, and that's great because he's willing to take the risk to prove the point,
yeah,
and like
he's
maybe it
human."
doesn't work out, but he's out there. He's like a frontier man, right? He's out there finding gold, and nobody else is. And people, should. It's amazing. I'm just glad somebody out there is going to try things that might not work, and this is so funny that I said that because we just gave shit to companies trying too many things and stretching themselves too thin. But
Yeah, but I
anyways,
mean, he's not trusting. He's not
he,
trying to make a
he's not.
gaming streaming platform.
But he
That
doesn't know any of this stuff is going to work. Actually, most of the stuff he's doing is very risky. But yes, he is keeping within his own realm of expertise, which is nice.
yeah.
I think that's the difference. But yeah, I love that guy. I think he does. I think in 50 years he's gonna be the one that's gonna be in the textbook
Yeah.
easily.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, no, it's I don't even know what we. Oh yeah, Halo.
That's where this started? How the
Yeah,
fuck did we get to Elon Musk?
I have no idea. The Musker man.
Jesus Christ.
It's okay. So what did I even write? Well. Okay, so one thing is, and I watched this. It was Linus Tech Tips. I think were one of the things was he gave a really good talk about the new mining cards that Nvidia is putting out.
Oh, I saw a little bit about that.
Yeah, so they're creating these cards that are specifically for basically decrypting hashes, so
Yeah.
for mining. And yeah, so his whole argument is this is, and I thought it was really cool that he did this, was that there's no, basically what they're doing is by making these dedicated cards, it's creating more e-waste in the end because there's no secondary market because these cards are only dedicated for once the miners don't need them anymore and throw them back on, they're just going to throw them away. So there's this whole e-waste element to it that, and he's saying like, it's not a good, and I thought it was really cool because he called Nvidia out and said like you are not trying to help us, you're just trying to get it so that there's no secondary market so that you make more money on both sides of the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was really cool. I was like, and I know he's that's why I watch him, is because he definitely says what he thinks, but I don't know, I really do believe that being heard and to get that out there is a really important thing, because I think that just the amount of toxic shit that's in cards is really bad, and the fact that we can't reuse these cards in any other capacity other than bit mining,
Yeah,
Kind of seems shitty. I don't know.
it really does. Which I mean, I don't know if Nvidia's a fantastic company, but yeah, it's not great. It seemed very odd, and I mean, I know that it's annoying when new cards come out that the miners go suck them up, but they'll get available eventually.
But that's the weird thing. Like it does, and that's how I felt too. I felt like, oh, this is a great, awesome, right? They're doing this, and now we can actually buy the cards we want because we'll get rid of the miners. But I never thought about this, and then I don't know how you really solve this problem that we're in. Like, where you with bots buying everything, and there just being not enough. I mean, there's just not enough materials out there. There's not
Well,
enough.
did you see that? I think it was the UK made scalping illegal.
Ooh, that's awesome. I didn't see that at all. No.
Yeah, I think it was the UK, and fucking
How
good
do you
for
even
them.
enforce that? Do you
I have
just got it?
absolutely no idea. It was funny because it came up on like a Apple notification from the news app. It was like, "Hey, Europe made scalping illegal," and I sat there and went, "Was scalping not illegal in that country? That seems odd." And then I realized it was, buying and selling scalping and not taking the scalp of a human being. But there is a brief moment that I'm like, "That's fucking weird." Like I thought we agreed on that a while
Yeah.
ago.
It's like no, it's illegal. It's legal. We love to scalp our citizens.
Yeah, let's see if I don't know if I can find any info, but yeah, they want to try to
But
make it illegal.
but isn't it a global market? Like that's the problem with the internet, right? It's global. So like how do you even have
Well, I mean, it's like the Europe's privacy issue of like
Yeah.
they have more rules on user data than we do, and we don't have to abide by it here, but if you're going to make something that they use in Europe, you're going to have to abide by it.
Yeah, but if you're using eBay to sell your product, right? And like you're using bots to buy it off of Nvidia's website, is it where those servers are and like or where you are and
Yeah, that's a good point.
this whole online scalping, I guess, is yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you solve it. Like that seems like a great thing, but it definitely would need to be a UN thing, which the UN doesn't actually do anything. But
Yeah, and
uh,
as you brought what you're bringing up as well is one of the articles talking about how in order to enforce this, they're gonna who knows how they'll do it, but the only way would be to start really putting your hand in the eBay reselling market, which could be an overreach on the government's part. Like it's a little too much, but I hate
but
scalping.
it's a problem. I mean, it's a problem as bad as robocalls. I mean, like those two problems,
Ugh.
right? Like we can't solve these problems, and it's just going to get worse. It's going to continue to be really bad, and it's going to get to a point where it's going to last all year long, where you just things are not available. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter when they're selling. Um, and I don't know. I mean, maybe these things will be kind of advanced out. Like obviously, if we're all gonna, with Microsoft's, I think it's Microsoft X, right? Their new operating system that's server based.
Maybe.
Um, yeah, there. I think that's what it's called, but there's definitely an operating system that's going to be server based. So it's like a cloud based operating system that they're trying to deploy. Um, and maybe if then we don't have to buy hardware anymore, right? And so then what do people scalp? But it does happen. I mean, it happens with shoes. It happens with currency. I had the problem buying coins. I don't know why I was buying coins, but it's across the board. It's just like anything bought offline that's can be somebody can make money on a resale or a need. It's like Tickle Me Elmo all year long.
Yeah, I don't know how to solve it. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't like it's kind of a product of how we buy and sell things in this world. Like how could you stop someone from doing that? Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, that's really shitty that they're doing it, but why is that illegal? If someone's willing to pay $10,000 for a PS5 that some dude has, why should we stop them?
You wouldn't go for like a one household rule? One per IP address. Well, I mean, obviously they could get around that because they could
Yeah,
just
yes,
VPN
VPN, yeah.
a bunch of IP
Which,
addresses.
people should have VPNs, but
Yeah, they should.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. And then the one house rule, it's like I kind of yes, but there's a lot of people out there who have gamers in their house or couples that are gamers together, and it seems shitty to punish them for enjoying the hobby together.
Or maybe there needs to be a better sense of identification, right? Like you need to have an eye scan before you or
Well,
something, or like some video or some
like
sort of
scalping is one thing that might be very difficult to solve, and I don't think there ever will be a solution. But bots, there's a fucking solution, and it's to just not sell your shit on a shitty website. Like
yeah.
sell it somehow somewhere else. Make sure people get code, especially with pre-orders. Like you gotta sign up and get your codes, and you gotta, or like we were saying a while ago, just like have people buy it through the existing console. I know that isolates people who don't already have the console, but the amount of people who already have your console who are gonna buy that thing day one are going to sell you out. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I guess there's, and you own the hardware, so you obviously know what the hardware is, and you know that if it's impenetrable, you can trust it. So there's
Yeah,
certain things and it has imprinted factory ID of it, of each hardware, so you could see that ID. So it's at least there's some sort of, I mean, obviously, I think people could abuse it if they wanted to, but
yeah, and I mean
it's less
Amazon
likely.
does the whole one per household, and there are ways around it. By just getting it shipped to someone else's house that doesn't care about the thing. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's going to get a lot worse. I think that people think, because this is really the first year, and maybe it is because we're in a pandemic, but I don't think this is going away.
I mean, it took a while for Switches to get in stock once those sold out back in 2017.
Yeah, but I feel
But I
like
don't I don't remember people complaining about bots in 2017.
I didn't notice it until this year, and again, maybe it's because the pandemic, maybe it's because we're all home, um, but it seems a lot worse. It seems, and it's just going to be really annoying, if you can't buy the things especially when big items come out. It's like, oh well, I got to wait 6 months past the item coming out.
Yeah, like we are very fortunate that we got the consoles we did, and it blows my mind that they're still not available.
And the only reason we did that was because they had stock in stores.
Yeah,
I mean, did you get yours online?
I
Yeah,
got
I
my
think you did.
Xbox Online.
You did
Yeah.
it through Walmart, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's weird, like maybe it's because I'm not looking, but are they still having these weird stock refreshes of Xboxes and PS5s every once in a while? Or has it just completely gone silent?
Oh, I haven't been watching the consoles, but I definitely been watching the graphics cards, and it's still clogged to hell. Like you can't get a
Damn.
graphics, you can't get any of the. I mean, like you can, but it's just it's still going to be a little while before it's easy to get. What was it, a
3080,
3080? Yeah,
3090 or whatever the
38,
fuck.
3090. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. I mean, I get it. It just, and it's not that big of a deal. But also, like, if you consider it, I mean, it's kind of slowing down society in a way because, the developer that wants to develop with the newest cards or the newest hardware to get, to kind of get used to that or whatever the new technology is, now they can't because it's going to take them longer to get that. So we're slowing down development in a way,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
I wouldn't say that's a good thing. Like, I want them to make new cool stuff.
Yeah, and you would say that, probably not because people, that isolates to a smaller customer base because now
Yeah.
you're using the most advanced hardware. But
Yeah, I
I don't
guess
know.
so.
Oh, I did want to talk about this last story because I am blown away.
All right, well, we got a minute and a half. What do you got?
Check this out. And this is when I was like, what? That's a story. That's a thing. Twisted Metal TV series.
Oh God.
I don't know.
mean,
I didn't read the article. I just because
really?
it was right at the end when I was looking up stuff. But yeah, really, I'll look at the article. But yeah, I was like, Twisted Metal TV series. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's gonna
apparently
suck.
the Deadpool writers.
Yeah, from the Deadpool
I
writers.
mean, so actually, on a quick small thing before we go, which I think we talked about before, I think I've just lost faith in video game adaptations. Like, I thought we were on track to make some good ones with. We made Detective Pikachu, which was great, and then we made Sonic, which was pretty damn
I think
good.
Borderlands is gonna be good. I don't know what the hell the story
I
is.
don't know. And now, but I think like Uncharted, I thought was going to be good, and I just seeing what they're doing, I don't think it's going to be good. And like the Minecraft movie died. I'm excited. I'm excited for Sonic 2. I think that seems to kick ass.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't. And then I I think it's gonna be cool that Oscar Isaac is Solid Snake, but I have zero faith that they'll do a good job with the movie, and it won't be his fault. So yeah, this sounds interesting, but a TV show, like who the fuck is gonna watch that?
I think Uncharted will be good. I hate Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I know. Like it's such
He's
a
not my
shit.
favorite actor,
But
but
like one
sure he's
thing,
a
like
nice
if
guy.
they made a Twisted Metal movie, for one, that's a hard sell. Twisted Metal's been dead for a very long time. Like there are some people like us that who know it and are gonna watch it, but it's not like Sonic or Pikachu, like that
I don't
everybody
know because
knows.
the fun thing about Twisted Metal, and we talked about this a while back, was Twisted Metal Black. How they would represent each story was a little movie, and you got to learn. And maybe they do the kind of lost storytelling where it's like it's got a story, but then they go back into each person's backstory to kind of like, it's a weird world. Like it's all
Yeah,
about.
like I mean I don't doubt that it'll be cool. It's just like of all the TV shows.
I know, but that's what I was blown away from. It makes no sense. I don't know why anyone would do this, but I'm glad they're
Yeah,
doing it.
I would say I'd bet you $20 that thing never sees the light of day.
Oh no. Okay, well
That
maybe.
shit's just gonna die in a hole.
Probably, but
I
at least
mean,
they're thinking.
the Halo TV show from Spielberg was supposed to be out like how long ago? It's been in development for like 10 or 11 years.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
Eh.
still coming, apparently.
I honestly think that will come out just because of the franchise being so big, and especially now that Infinite's gonna.
And
I think it.
fucking Avatar.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I was looking up the other day before we leave. I was looking up like movies that had got affected by COVID, and this website was like, oh well, Avatar was supposed to come out in 2021, but it got pushed back because of COVID. I'm like, ah, bullshit. That shit's never coming out. It's been pushed back forever.
yeah,
Which I
yeah.
want to see it. I liked Avatar.
Avatar was a good movie. I think it really got its take because of the 3D technology. But anyways, that's a whole different storyline.
Yep.
It's 9:01. Thank you everybody for listening to our rants, and we'll be back next week.
All right.